Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our webinar. I am super excited tonight. We have the privilege and honor of having a very special host teach us about Lifevantage and the products and the science. My name's Shawn Poe. I'm from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I've been in Lifevantage for about 7 years now. And I'll tell you, when I heard this information from Dr. Mark Gordon, cardiologist here in Sioux Falls about 7 years ago, it blew my mind. And I was thinking to myself, even if this product is half as good as what they're saying, it's something that I wanted to incorporate into our health strategy. The thing that I didn't know that would happen was on the business side, it changed everything in our world as well. And we'll get into that story here in a little bit. But I want to introduce you first to our guest, Dr. Jenny Thomas. She's blowing my mind on just her enthusiasm for life and just her dedication to learning about this and just being a student of the company and the products and what we have our hands on. And you guys, Dr. Thomas, she's a physical medicine and rehabilitation physician specializing in spine medicine. So I might be the finance guy. She knows the science, and I love the fact that we get to team up to share this information with you tonight. She's the president-elect of Minnesota Osteopathic Medical Society, and she has a passion for health and wellness, and so excited to have found a supplement that decreases oxidative stress and has the research and science to back it up. So without further ado, I want to turn over the presentation to Dr. Jenny Thomas.
Great. Thank you so much, Shawn. Again, thanks everyone for being here tonight. We've got a ton of information to go through. We're going to try and get through it as quickly as possible so we can get you back to whatever you have on the agenda tonight. I know I'm looking forward to catching some more Olympics. But I'm super excited about this company and so excited to talk to you about these products because I have always kind of been a skeptic about supplements, but when my physician, who's been a mentor to me ever since I was a medical student, contacted me about these products and said, you've got to check out the science. This is going to change your life the way it has changed his life with the increased energy, better mood, better recovery. His back pain is gone. All of these things that he's experienced, and if they've got the science to back it up, I just jumped in with 2 feet to not only taking the products and having my entire family take these products, from my 3-year-old nephew to my 75-year-old dad and my initially skeptical physician husband as well. But we're all taking these products now. And then I'm really excited later on for Shawn to tell you about this opportunity because we're so grateful that this has come into our lives. So let me talk to you a little bit about what we mean when we're talking about nutrigenomics and biohacking your body, because that's what we're going to get into tonight, is some of that science. So when we talk about nutrigenomics, we're talking about nutrition and gene expression. So what that means is, in the past, we used to kind of think that whatever genes you were born with, that was kind of your destiny. So if you had the genes for Parkinson's disease, you had the genes for cancer, at some point you were probably going to get those diseases. And we found that you're not destined to that. You can change your fate. And that's what we mean by biohacking your body. By taking nutritional supplements, we can actually change our gene expression. And specifically when we talk about protandum nerf2, and we'll get into that in just a little bit here, but taking these types of nutritional products, you can significantly impact your health and change your destiny. You can be the healthiest version of you, no matter what cards you were dealt. So we're going to start off by watching this ABC video that kind of brought Lifevantage and Protandum into the mainstream here. So let me get that pulled up for you.
The following is an ABC primetime investigative report that aired in 2005.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life.
It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment,
a kind of guinea pig.
Dr. McCord, okay.
I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver to meet Dr. Joe McCord, a world-renowned scientist.
This is pretty exciting stuff you're finding, huh?
It is. We're very excited about it.
His latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And his decades of experiments may have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill, and for me, it begins with a blood test.
Yeah, there we go.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing.
Bad for the body,
Leading to disease.
leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process.
The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells. But as we get older, some of those toxic radicals overwhelm our enzymes and wreak their havoc. For a long time, scientists thought that antioxidant vitamins like C and E would lower it, but they don't.
And it's turned out in just the last 5 years or so, we see that they're not good enough tools. They're not powerful enough.
But this pill, he says, is powerful enough. In fact, many times more powerful.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment.
Doesn't taste bad.
It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Whether that will lead to longer life is still unknown. Experiments to see if mice live longer are about to get underway, but it's a tantalizing theory.
Right now, all we know is that this preparation decreases oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is not a disease, just like aging is not in itself a disease, but it's something that accompanies and is attached to many disease processes.
Have you discovered the fountain of youth?
I wouldn't put it that way, but we may have discovered something that will tell us a lot more about how we age, what happens biochemically, and maybe how we can slow it down. And so you can see the age-related.
Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. But in Dr. McCord's tests, taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old.
They all are reduced to the level of oxidative stress that one would expect, frankly, in a newborn or a very young child.
Back to the oxidative stress levels of a child? It sounds too good to be true. Will Protandim work on me? But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. Dr. McCord calculates the numbers. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically.
45%, that's excellent.
Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after.
Which, if extrapolated back, is the level you would see in a newborn baby.
Have we turned back the clock? Well, maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
Would you suggest I keep taking this supplement?
I would.
And so, ancient Eastern healing and modern Western medicine may soon be working together. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma. I've studied all of these, strokes, heart attacks.
Even mental disease,
Yes,
depression.
Alzheimer's disease, depression, but we do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. And I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
The company that makes Protandim says its tests show the pill, made from ingredients used for centuries, is absolutely safe. But because it's being sold as a nutritional supplement and not a drug, Protandim does not need FDA approval for safety.
Protandim NRF2 is protected.
So let me get this other screen pulled up here. All right. So that ABC investigative report came out in 2005. And so just to kind of update you on what's happened since that time, as you can imagine, after that story aired, there was a huge demand for Protandim, but this Lifevantage company, they didn't really have a way to get the products out to the people who were wanting it. So they initially tried putting it in stores like GNC or even Walgreens, but they just couldn't get the products to sell. And so their stock shares plummeted, and almost out of desperation, they hired a consulting company and said, we've got this great product. How do we get it out to the people? And after learning about the company and the product, this consulting firm said, you know, the best way for you to actually get the product into the hands of people is to do network marketing. And so that's how we became a network marketing company, because this product does have a really great story behind it, and network marketing is the best way to get that story out and to share it with other people. So that's how we became a network marketing company. And just a little bit, just to touch on Dr. Joe McCord, you know, this product was developed by an internationally celebrated scientist. This wasn't just some guy who thought like, oh, if I put these, you know, herbs together, I'm going to come up with this, you know, product and then I'll study it. This guy has been studying, you know, oxidative stress and aging for a long time, and he's received several awards. So this,
Hey, Dr. Thomas?
Oh, yeah.
We can't see your slides.
Oh, you can't. Oh, no. Let me just see here. Thanks for letting me know. Try this.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Thank you. So, yeah, so that was just a little on Dr. Joe McCord. So we'll get into more about that oxidative stress that they were talking about in the ABC video. So what is oxidative stress? You can think about oxidative stress as a waste product or a byproduct of what happens when our cells produce energy. So any time that we need energy, our cells produce it, but then there's also a waste product that goes along with this. You can kind of think of it as like exhaust coming out of a car. But in our cells, there's not really anywhere for that waste product to go. So we rely on our cells to actually create these enzymes that eat up these free radicals or these waste products. The problem is that as we get older, our body doesn't really produce as much of these enzymes to go after these free radicals, and that's when aging occurs. And when our bodies become overwhelmed with this oxidative stress, these diseases can occur. And we can see on the right side of the screen here that there are multiple diseases that are linked to oxidative stress. You know, almost every organ system is involved, from high blood pressure, diabetes, heart attacks, Parkinson's disease, cancer. So many things are linked to oxidative stress. So the solutions for reducing oxidative stress, you know, really in the beginning we had high hopes for vitamin C, vitamin E, and beta carotene. We really thought that those would neutralize those free radicals. And what we found out is that they do, but they do it at such a small ratio. So if you look at 1 molecule of vitamin C, it will eliminate 1 free radical. And then that molecule of vitamin C is done. So what we found with NRF2 activation, so NRF2 is a messenger protein, and what it does is it goes into the cell and it tells your genes to start, or it tells the genes to activate in the cell these enzymes that then go in and neutralize these free radicals. So our cells naturally produce things like catalase, glutathione, and superoxide dismutase, or SOD, and those go in and eat up the free radicals. So one NRF2 messenger protein will activate 1 million of these enzymes in your body that eat up these free radicals. So you're talking about either 1-to-1 with our old way of doing things with vitamin C or vitamin E versus, you know, our new supplement, the Protandim Nerve 2, that will actually go in and eat up those free radicals at a huge ratio. So you can think about it as, you know, if you have a fire raging in your house, you've either got like a little cup of water that you're dumping on the fire, or you can think of it with the Nerve 2 activation. It's like having a sprinkler system in every room of your house. It's just gonna douse water on that fire. So the NRF2 activation, there's just no comparison in how much that it can decrease the oxidative stress in your body compared to these other antioxidants. So the Lifevantage product, specifically the Protandim Nerve 2, has been well studied by numerous institutions. You can see some very prestigious ones here listed on this slide, from the NIH to the American Heart Association, Harvard University, and even some pharma companies have studied Protandim Nerve 2. And so I think that this is very important because these are big name institutions. They are not going to invest time and money looking at a product that doesn't really do what it says that it does. So they're not going to do studies on snake oil. So, you know, to see these big name institutions actually invest their time to research this product, you know that it's got a lot of science behind it and that it's a good product. So this is a fairly recent study that came out in 2015 that talks about looking at NRF2 and its detoxification and antioxidant benefits. And they talk about how this can have such an extraordinary health benefit, and that actually they think that we're right kind of on that peak of using NRF2 to break through in medicine, and that it's going to have these huge preventative effects on so many different diseases. And I think that's just so exciting that, you know, this company is leading the way in NRF2 activation and the health benefits that people can receive from it. So here we are, the Protandim Nerve 2. So as you saw in the video, it decreases oxidative stress. It's the only supplement proven in a clinical study to reduce oxidative stress by 40%. And it's actually BSCG and NSF certified, which means that there's no banned substances. So if you get any athletes who are asking, well, would I be able to take this for competition? Absolutely safe for that. The other thing that I want to mention that goes along with that previous slide is how potent Protandim actually is. So you saw on the slide with the institutions, I mentioned that there are those pharmaceutical companies. So there's a pharmaceutical company called Biogen that actually produced a drug called Tecfidera, which is a multiple sclerosis drug. And Tecfidera works by activating NRF2. And so Biogen actually did a study that compared their drug, Tecfidera, with other NRF2 activators, including Protandim Nerve 2. And what they found was that the Protandim Nerve 2 is actually a more potent activator of NRF2 compared to their own drug Tecfidera, which is amazing because they have you know, spent so much time and money developing this drug, and Tecfidera is $55,000 a year versus Protandim, which is $40 a month or $480 a year. And Biogen was forced to publish that Protandim is actually a more potent NRF2 activator compared to their own drug. So very exciting stuff with the Protandim Nerve 2. So now we're going to move into a little bit about mitochondrial dysfunction, and we'll talk about the NRF2 messenger protein. So the mitochondria they're called the powerhouses of the cell, and they're what produce the energy that the cells use to be able to function. And so what can happen is that sometimes our mitochondria, they stop working, they don't produce energy as well. And you can see to the right of the screen, there are so many diseases that are also linked to mitochondrial dysfunction. The diseases in the orange are thought to be more significantly influenced by mitochondrial dysfunction. And you can see a lot of those have to do with diseases that affect the brain or the central nervous system, such as Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's, Lou Gehrig's disease. And then you have the other diseases in blue, which are also linked to mitochondrial dysfunction, but maybe not quite so strongly influenced. So, and again, those can be diabetes, fibromyalgia, and developmental delay. So, Lifevantage has an NRF2 activator, which actually helps your cells produce more mitochondria. And by having more mitochondria, those cells have more energy, so your body's going to be able to function better. People notice that when they take NRF2 that they have more energy, you know, and that with having more mitochondria, it overall just helps the cellular health, and again, just helps with that anti-aging. One of the things that I should disclaim, and pardon me because I'm still kind of new at this, but since this is a nutritional supplement, like what they mentioned in the ABC video, Lifevantage does not, and these products, we don't claim to diagnose, prevent, cure, or treat any sort of disease. We can say that this the Protandim Nerve 2 decreases oxidative stress by 40%. And then hopefully you can kind of see from the science the link between oxidative stress and these other diseases, and then you can do your own research and draw your own conclusions. But certainly these two products have amazing benefits for antioxidants, decreasing that oxidative stress, and then increasing your mitochondrial function, both of which have significant health benefits. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Physique probiotic and talking about leaky gut syndrome. So we have found more and more in medicine how important the function of our intestines and our gut is, and how if our gut is not functioning optimally, if it's not being able to absorb nutrients, that really people can't be healthy, and that we see them have all sorts of health problems, from skin disorders to thyroid disorders to joint problems. So we've really found there's been a big push now to get people having a healthy and a normally functioning gut. And one of the ways that we can do this is by taking a probiotic. And so they have come out with this Physique probiotic, which I think is really unique compared to some of the other probiotics that are out on the market. One of the things that makes it unique is this BioTract encapsulation that they use. So with a lot of the probiotics, when you take it, your stomach acid is so strong that a lot of those bacteria can't survive in the stomach acid. So you never actually get those bacteria into your intestines where they need to be in order to give you the maximal health benefits. So they've created this specialized encapsulation that helps the bacteria actually survive in the stomach acid and then be able to pass through into your intestines, so you get those bacteria where they need to be to help support that healthy gut. The other thing that this probiotic has is Wellmune, which is it's another supplement that just helps to boost the immune system. And it actually has been scientifically studied, and it decreases people's susceptibility to viruses. You can buy Wellmune as its own supplement. It's about $40 a month if you buy it separately, but this is actually incorporated into the Physique probiotic. And so you're getting the probiotic with the Wellmune supplement for $40. So it's a great deal. And again, a very unique product in that it has that specialized encapsulation to get that bacteria into your gut. So the Omega Plus, this is a fairly new product for Lifevantage, and so this is a great one too because it's got not only vitamin D and your omega-3s, but it's also got omega-7s, and the omega-7s are pretty exciting. I didn't know what they were until I saw this product, and then I was like, well, I want to do a little research on omega-7. And the omega-7s are exciting because they actually help to break the cycle of high blood sugar, high lipid levels, and inflammation. And they've actually done some studies that show that it helps to increase the amount of fat breakdown that occurs in the body, and that there's studies that actually are suggesting that it actually prevents the body from being able to form new fat, so that this could be very helpful in overall heart health and decreasing inflammation, in addition to part of a healthy weight loss program. So the omega-7 is really exciting, and it's actually been studied by both the Cleveland Clinic and Harvard University. I read one article where they said that Harvard was so impressed by the omega-7 and the health benefits that they were actually looking into seeing if they could patent omega-7 because of the health benefits from it. So really great that this product not only has the omega-3s, which we need in our American diet because we don't get enough of those, and again that is very helpful with heart health, but again has that omega-7s that have that increased benefit of decreasing inflammation and possibly even decreasing fat synthesis in the body. So you can get all 4 of these products in the Vitality Stack. So you've got your Protandim Nerf 1, Nerf 2, the Omega Plus, and the Physique Probiotic. In this Vitality Stack, it costs about $150 a month. When you order the Vitality Stack, you get the shipping for free. And then this month, during the month of February, if you order this Vitality Stack, you get a free box of Axio. And I'll tell you about the Axio product in just a minute, but that is a great deal for the Vitality Stack this month. So then Lifevantage also created this Physique line, and so the probiotic that we talked about is part of this line. And then they also created a cleanse product, and this is just a nice, gentle GI cleanse, just a way to kind of detoxify and just support a healthy gut so that you can better absorb nutrients. So again, part of that healthy weight loss that we talk about. And they've also got a protein shake, and this protein shake is not a meal replacement, but it provides 2 forms of protein, a whey protein and casein. So one element that is quickly absorbed to kind of help you feel full, and then another one that's slowly absorbed, again, just to get healthy protein into your body, which is very important. When you're trying to lose weight, you really want to make sure that you're maintaining your lean muscle mass. You want to lose fat, but you don't want to lose the muscle mass that you gain. The muscle mass is really important just for overall health. And the more muscle mass you have, actually the more calories you can burn, because that's metabolically active tissue. So that protein shake just helps preserve that muscle mass. And then we've got the Physique Fat Burn product, which is really, again, a unique product. We are the first to market with a couple of the ingredients that is in the Physique Fat Burn. So those 2 ingredients are Cinetrol, which is a citrus extract, which helps to naturally boost the metabolism. And then it's also got another ingredient called Svetol, which is green coffee bean extract. And again, these help to preserve muscle mass. These are meant to kind of be used in conjunction together, but they help to preserve muscle mass while helping you burn fat. And particularly these products are really helpful in burning that really stubborn belly fat that a lot of us just, no matter how hard we work out or how well we eat, sometimes we just have difficulty getting rid of that. So you can see in the pictures here a gentleman who is using these products for a total of 3 months. Certainly it's this gentleman hit the gym and again watch what he ate, but you can see how you can just kind of get that little bit of a boost with taking these other products here. So here's the Axio that I was telling you about. The Axio was created not necessarily as an energy drink, but more as like just kind of almost like a mental boost drink. So if you think about like your afternoon or even in your morning, you kind of hit that point where you kind of feel like you're grinding and it's really hard to focus or concentrate. So this is where Axio is a really great product that just kind of helps give you a little natural boost of energy. It helps with your mental clarity and focus. For me, I notice that I'm much less distracted when I take the Axio. We've got a decaf version and a regular version, which has about 100 milligrams of caffeine, which is about what you would get in a cup of coffee. But these are just really great to help with that mental energy and clarity. You can also see that a lot of people a lot of kids can benefit from taking Protandim and Axio, particularly if they've been struggling in school. You can see in the list on the left, a child who was writing words in a list, and then after 2 weeks of taking both the Protandim and the Axio, you can see how much improvement they were able to make. And a lot of times, these kids, they just need a little help with being able to focus, and they can do so much better. So great product here. And again, you can get this box of Axio for free when you order that Vitality Stack this month. And that Axio box sells for $50, so this is an incredible deal. So I highly encourage you to, get that Vitality Stack, and you'll get this Axio box for free this month. So Lifevantage also has this skincare line, and it's funny because I had a friend who, kind of poo-pooed this, like Lifevantage, look, they do the supplements, and then I've also got this skincare line. But the skincare line kind of came about because Louisiana State University did a research study on skin cancer and NRF2, and could NRF2 help to either treat or prevent skin cancer. And so they did a study, and they actually found that, NRF2 activation would be very beneficial potentially for preventing skin cancer. So they approached Lifevantage to create this skincare line. Our skin is constantly exposed to the elements, so sun, wind, toxins, pollution. So putting NRF2 into the skincare line, it really helps to protect our skin from the elements. And then in addition, because it decreases oxidative stress, which helps to decrease aging, you can see the effects in your skin from using the skincare line. I've been using skincare products ever since I was a teenager. I have to say that honestly, this is one of the best skincare lines I've ever used. And it's also one of the best prices for skincare lines that I've ever used. It's $140 for a month. Honestly, mine, I've been using it for 2 months and I haven't run out yet. So, great product, great price here. And then we've got Pet Tandem for your furry friends. So dogs are very susceptible to oxidative stress, but then they also do really well with NRF2 activation. And so Lifevantage developed this product for dogs. You can use it for your cat too. You'd probably just want to use either a half to a third of a capsule, depending on how big your cat is. But, this decreases oxidative stress in your pets, and they get the same benefits that humans do. You can go online and see these videos of dogs that can hardly walk because their joints are so stiff and they have such bad arthritis, and then they start taking Protandim and you can see them running around like they're years younger. So it can really help your pets, give them better quality of life, and maybe even help them hang around with you longer. So at this point in the presentation, I am going to turn it back over to Shawn here. Shawn is, I'm trying to remember all of his accolades that I'm supposed to say. So he has been, extremely successful in this company. He's currently an elite Pro 9. He retired from corporate America. He had his securities license. He worked for, a big financial group where they moved literally billions of dollars of cash, and then more recently managed a portfolio for defaulted student loans. So he has found this opportunity, and I'm really excited for him to talk to you more about this. So.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Jenny Thomas. I just love hearing the perspective of what we have our hands on by medical professionals. And if you're familiar with this industry, you guys, it is not very typical to have the amount of medical professionals on board that we do. And it's because of one thing. It's because there's true science backing up these products. I'll never forget Dr. Gordon making the comment that Circulation, the American Heart Association's journal, had published research on Protandim, and he said, "This is the only branded supplement that I know of that has ever been published in Circulation's journal, and they don't publish research on scam research or snake oil." And that always stuck in the back of my head of this is something different. And realistically, the only reason that it's in this business model is because of the failures early on in the company, right? They didn't have the proper infrastructure in place to take advantage of everything that was happening. And one of the things that I really like to highlight that will really encompass the business mistakes that they made early on was the fact that after that ABC video aired, Oprah Winfrey's people had contacted Dr. Joe McCord to feature him on her show, and he didn't call her back because he didn't know who Oprah was. Can you imagine if a decade ago she would have opened her mouth about what this was? They wouldn't have had to spend another dollar on marketing ever. It would have been an instant billion-dollar company. And you know, the reality is that didn't happen, and it sat on the shelves of places like GNC and CVS and Rite Aid. And in that transition, when they were trying to figure out how to get this out to the masses, they discovered the problem was this had a story that had to be told. And people weren't walking into places like GNC or CVS or Rite Aid and asking for something to reduce oxidative stress, right? Even a decade later, we're not running into stores talking about oxidative stress. So the importance of this is educating people on why this is so important. And to me, once you understand the science, it's an absolute no-brainer. You're going to integrate these products into your health strategy at some level. I truly believe that baseline strategy to get somebody started is going to be that vitality stack. You're getting NRF1, you're getting NRF2. That's going to increase the mitochondria in the cells and the health of the mitochondria, but it's also going to clean up that garbage in the cells, that oxidative stress, the free radicals that are floating around, because we don't want that lingering. And as we age, our bodies are less and less able to fight off the damage that's caused by oxidative stress and free radicals. And then on top of that, fish oils. Fish oils are extremely important. We've been talking to this with people ever since we joined. And the reason with that is because we don't naturally produce what is in the fish oil, and vitamin D is added into that as well. Another vitamin that we just don't naturally produce enough of, especially in these cold climate states where in the winter we're not seeing a lot of sun to have that natural production. And then the last product in there, that probiotic. You guys, this has changed people's lives, that probiotic. And I didn't understand how important probiotics were, because if your gut isn't healthy, your overall immune system and your health is not going to be where it needs to be. So it's important to ensure that your gut health is where it needs to be. And probiotics, when they're delivered properly into the intestinal tract, they really do have extreme benefits as we age. And that's the reality here. It isn't any one of these pills that's a miracle, right? It's unlocking our own body's potential to act like it did when we were younger. I like to say all the time, you know, I have a 10 and a 13-year-old kid, and if one of them broke their arm tomorrow and I break my arm, if I ask 100 people whose arm's going to heal faster, there isn't one person that's going to say me, the 40-year-old's arm's going to heal faster than a 10 or a 13-year-old. Well, why is that? It's a simple solution. It's because their body works more optimally, and it's designed to heal a lot quicker. As we age, you know, the things in our bodies that don't work as well come really down to upregulation and downregulation of different genes in the body. And we're just starting to realize how important this is. The genes you were born with are not necessarily the genes you're destined to live with, especially as we age. And there are certain things that in the genome, they get turned on as we get older that shouldn't be on. And there are certain switches that should be on that get turned off. And the reality is things like protandem, when they open up that NRF2 pathway, they can affect hundreds of different genes in the body and get them back into the position that they were designed to be in, right? It puts the good stuff back on, the bad stuff back off. And I'll never forget Dr. McCord saying that from stage, because that was the epiphany I needed to have, because I didn't understand as a finance guy why this could impact so many different things in the body, and so many different disease states were affected by oxidative stress. But the reality was, when you can regulate these different genes and you can reduce the stress on the cells, it can have dramatic impact. So again, you know, I think it's an absolute no-brainer. Once you start to understand this science, you will integrate these products into your health strategy. It's just a matter of how you're going to do it. And since it's not in the store shelves anymore, there's only two ways you can do it. You can be a customer of a distributor within Lifevantage, or you can be a distributor within Lifevantage. About 85% of our business, you guys, is customer-based. And I love that for the simple fact that if somebody isn't interested in doing the business, don't do the business. You can simply be a customer and get this started in your body and see what it does for you. If you're going to be a customer, what I would challenge you to do though is at least give it a 4 to a 6 month time period where it can work and it can get the body back in balance. The stuff that happens in our body doesn't happen overnight, and we shouldn't expect anything to be an overnight fix. Now, some people, they have dramatic results real quick, but other people, they need that time inside of their body for the body to get back into balance and do what it's designed to do. Now, what I want to do is spend just about 10 minutes educating you on the business model and why I think this is such a key thing for people to understand in 2018. Because as we have this shift in society where people are reaching more for natural ways to increase their health as opposed to drugs, I think we're also making a huge shift in the way that people look at business and what the business world looks at. So I'm going to share my screen real quick here, and I'm going to talk you through, like I said, it'll be just about 10 minutes. And I want you to understand, I'm just sharing this as education. I'm cognizant that 85% of our business is customer-based, but I also want you to have enough information that you can make the decision if this is right for you or not. Now, what I didn't understand about this business model is there was actually income that people could generate from it. There's part-time, there's supplemental, there's full-time. There's honestly life-changing money that people can get out of a business model like this. And this income disclosure sheet that I have on the screen right now, it didn't exist when Michelle and I first got involved. They were thinking that people could make these types of money off of the compensation plan and this business model, but within Lifevantage, it was too new. They didn't know what the real numbers are. But this is what people are making at each one of these levels right now. Now look at the levels. They go from Pro 1, excuse me, to Pro 10. Pro 1, 2, 3, that's that part-time money, you guys. $80, $260, $580 a month. I know this because of my corporate experience and working with the student loan litigation and the collection efforts within there. The average bankruptcy in the United States could be avoided with an extra couple $100s a month. Look at that Pro 2 level, that Pro 3 level. 80% of bankruptcies could be avoided if we could show people how to earn that on a monthly basis. That just blows my mind. And there isn't one person that we've ever brought into this company that couldn't earn those types of dollars working this part-time. Now, supplemental income. Let's look at the ranks of Pro 4, Pro 5, $1,100, almost $1,200 a month, $2,500 a month. You guys, there's a whole generation of people coming up to retirement right now, and retirement does not look like it used to 30 and 40 years ago. So as these baby boomers come up to retire, they haven't saved enough money on the most part, and pensions don't exist like they used to, and Social Security surely doesn't pay enough for people to live the same lifestyle they're accustomed to while they're working. So what are their choices? Well, if they don't have that extra money, they either have to live off of less money or they have to keep working. But if we could show them how to roadmap out in a 3 to 5 year period where they could earn an extra $1,000, $2,500 a month or more, I think there's a lot of people, thousands and thousands of people that'd be interested in hearing about that. And then look at the levels of like Pro 6, Pro 7. I'll contend that probably 90% of American households somewhere in there are going to replace their full-time income. And then the levels of 8, 9, and 10, 20,000 plus, 40,000, almost $100,000 a month. I know people at each one of these levels. And here's the cool thing. When Michelle and I first joined this business, we didn't know the first thing about network marketing. We didn't know the first thing about nutraceuticals and supplements, but we knew if there was a system in place that we could follow and do it other people had already shown to work, we could have the same results. And that's what we did, is we put our heads down and we got to work and we followed what the leaders in the company had already shown to be the system to get to these higher levels. And I'm not saying this to brag about anything that we've done. I'm telling you again, because we had no experience doing this prior, we just followed the system. What we did is we hit Pro 7 in 12 months. We hit Pro 8 12 months after that. And then 12 months after that, 3 years in, we had 2 businesses that had Pro 8 volume. We're currently sitting there with a Pro 9 business and a Pro 8 business. This has changed our life dramatically compared to what it looked like when I was working in the corporate world. And if this business isn't for you guys, I challenge you to find some sort of way to get leveraged income into your life in 2018, because your life will never be the same. When I was in the corporate world, I traded time for money. I showed up 2 weeks later, I got a check. I show up another 2 weeks, I get another check. Well, I stopped showing up January 13th of 2012. Guess what they stopped doing? They stopped sending me checks. My wife, Michelle, she was always commission-based. And I love that for the simple fact that the harder she worked and the better she was at her job, the more she got paid. But the bad thing about it was every single month it reset back to zero. When you find a way to leverage income, you get paid over and over again for work you did in the past, and you get the contribution of other people adding to the amount that you're earning on a regular basis. So I'm telling you, if this isn't for you, find some sort of system to get that into your life in 2018, because it will dramatically change things. Now, on the technology side of things, I talked about how we're making this shift in society from drug-based reactive medicine and healthcare to kind of a proactive non-drug supplement nutraceutical format that people are highly interested in learning more and more about, and we're making a huge shift. Now, I also think we're making a shift that's never been seen in the business world as well. When I had my security licenses, you guys, I first got them, I believe it would have been 2003. There wasn't a portfolio manager that I could think of that if you told them stores like Radio Shack would no longer exist, places like Macy's and JCPenney's and Sears would be on the verge of bankruptcy, and some of them haven't posted profits in years, and that we would be looking at the demise of brick and mortar stores happening at a higher clip than ever before in history, they would have all shook their heads in disbelief. They wouldn't have believed that this was coming. And the reality is places like Amazon are taking over the business environment. And when you think about Amazon, what is Amazon? Amazon's strictly a bunch of distribution centers where they have warehouses of products that ship directly to the consumer. They're cutting out that brick and mortar environment. And that's exactly what network marketing and direct sales is. That's what we do at Lifevantage. Is we don't have it on the shelves of the GNC and CVS and Rite Aid. We're directly distributing from the distribution center or the company directly to the consumer. And I love that we're there and positioned to take advantage of that. Now, the other thing that's happening that I have on the screen here is this S-curve, this innovation curve. And this S-curve, at the very beginning of the curve, not many people know about what they have their hands on, right? Or the average person doesn't know about some kind of technology change or innovation that's happening. And once you start getting and ramping this up over the course of time, you start to hit what's called momentum. And that's when the average person starts to know about a technology or a new service or a new industry. And that's where about 80% of the growth happens. I can tell you I've been all over the world doing this, from the Philippines, Australia, Canada, Mexico, all over the United States. There is not one market that I've ever set foot in where if you walked out and randomly asked 100 people if they know about Nerf 2 or Protanum or Axio, that they would be like, yeah, I know all about that. That just isn't the case yet. So we have not hit that momentum phase within Lifevantage yet. And I always go back to prior experience in business to really think about what can happen for the future. And if you think about Apple and the iPhone, there wasn't a lot of people that knew about the original iPhone. And even the iPhone 2, not many people had their hands on that either. Now, the iPhone 3 started to creep between the early adopters and the early majority, but it was probably still in that early adopter phase. Now, the iPhone 4, that's when sales took off and the average person started to get their hands on the iPhone product. Now, fast forward now, we have the iPhone 8, the iPhone 10. It's been around a decade. The iPhone X is the most recent one. And almost everybody around has either had one of the products or they at least know about that technology. But that wasn't the case a decade ago. And that's where I see we're at. We're on the precipice of getting this out, and we're starting to educate more and more medical professionals on how important these pathways like NRF1 and NRF2 are. But I want you to ask yourself a question. If you knew about this information before the average person did, could that set you up to potentially have a financial gain out of it? And that's where I sat back 7 years ago, and I said to myself, well, what if? What if what they're telling me is true? What if I knew about this before the average person? What if I followed the system that was in place and I did what other people had already done to have the success that they had? And even though we were jumping in on kind of blind faith, the reality is this is probably the most simplistic business I've ever done. Now, that doesn't mean that it's easy. It still takes work. And if anybody tells you that, these products sell themselves or just the business builds itself, that isn't true. You still have to put in effort, just like everything else that's worthwhile in life. But I'm telling you, you can put yourself into a completely different phase of life than anything you've ever experienced before if you follow the system and share this and educate people, because people are yearning. They're yearning for something like this to come into their life. And remember when I said the average household or the average bankruptcy could be avoided with an extra couple $100s a month? I will promise you this. If it isn't you, you do have friends and family that will go to bed tonight praying for something to change in their life, for something to come in that will dramatically transform their financial situation. Because as a society, we're pretty much open books about our health problems, right? Our friends and our family, they typically know what's going on with our health. But on the financial side, that's something we deal with behind closed doors and we're not open books about. So I'm telling you, there are tons of people that are begging for this information to be presented to them. And again, I'm not telling you any of this to talk anybody into doing this business with us. But I think that as you hear about this science, people are going to start Rolodexing people in their head that can take advantage of getting these products integrated into their lives. And they're probably going to naturally start sharing this with those people anyway. And that's kind of where Michelle and I were at. We got in on the business side because it came with a ton of product that was discounted. And we knew that even if we didn't get off the starting line, we would have our money back in product that we were already going to take. So the last thing that I want to do is I want to show you, how you would get involved, because at this point you're going to fall into one of three categories, right? This isn't for you. And that's, totally cool. I get it. This isn't for everybody. But what I would ask you is, if this isn't for you right now, if something does change in your life where all of a sudden you become interested, get back with the person that introduced this to you first, okay? And if maybe something changes with the company, we have new science or new products come out, or maybe new financials, maybe every 4 to 6 months, we just kind of give you an update on what's going on in the company. Now, if you have questions on what we're talking about tonight, we get that. We get that people will have more questions than we can help deliver the information in 50, 60 minutes. So let us know what those questions are, because I'll contend all day long, the internet is filled with tons of information, but not all of it's true. And I would much rather send you to the American Heart Association over a blog or anytime to answer your questions on things like the science behind the product, the business side of it. It's a publicly traded company on the NASDAQ. We can point you to where you can get your questions properly answered. And then if it's for you, the question really is it as a distributor or as a customer? Again, 85% of our business is customer based. I love that for the simple fact that I don't want to have to remotivate people month after month after month. I want to work with the people that see the business vision like I see it, because I know when I lock arms with them, I have the tools and the proper roadmap in place to help them have success. And that's who I want to spend my time and my energy with, because that window of opportunity eventually closes. Okay, it's only open for so long, and we want to get as many people through that window as possible, because we know it can transform their lives. We know what this can do when it's properly executed, and people share with their hearts and they share with other people what this can do for their lives. So the last thing I'm going to share with you is just real quick how you would get involved either as a customer or as a distributor. Let me pull that up. For some reason my presentation closed, so give me 1 second. There we go. And let me share my screen. All right, so getting started either as a customer or as a distributor. On the distributor side, you guys, there's 3 different packs that you can get. There's the silver pack, there's the gold pack, there's a platinum pack. Depending on what pack you get, they all come with some product. The silver pack does not come with everything. The gold pack comes with some more. But honestly, if I had to jump back into the business and re-sign up tomorrow, I'm coming in with that platinum pack, because it comes with the most product. It comes with some of each, and it's going to really get that story started for you as fast as possible by getting this product into other people's bodies and knowing what it's going to do for you. And honestly, the discount on that, it's 30%. So if you look at it, like I said at the beginning, Michelle and I, we didn't do this to have a large business. We didn't do this for me to retire initially out of the corporate world. We did this because it came with so much product that we were getting discounted that we were going to already take. And then it gave us the potential that if we did share it with other people, we could get compensated for that. Now, on the product side, if you're just looking at being a customer, there's 3 different packs that, you know, we kind of steer people towards. If you're looking for that skincare, that outside-in approach, the True Science regimen is $140. It comes with 4 different steps, usually about a month's supply. The girls in my house, they use a lot more than that. They love this stuff. But the science behind it absolutely blows my mind. Dr. Natalie Chevreau, who developed the entire skincare regimen outside of that anti-aging cream, she's probably one of the foremost experts in the world at developing skincare products. She developed a product around 2005 called Strivectin. Strivectin went on to become the #1 skincare product ever, the #1 selling SKU, and it still is today. She's absolutely phenomenal. And when you ask her comparisons between that product and this, she says they're not even comparable because that product didn't do what True Science does at getting the cells back to where they were when they were younger. That middle one, the Vitality Stack, and then the N one are 2 different versions of the same thing. It's going to give you that NRF1, the NRF2 protection. It's going to get you that probiotic and the fish oil. The difference is one comes in bottles and one comes in daily sachets that you open up and take the pills out of the sachets. So the convenience there. But think about it like this, you guys. For $5 a day, you can get started on integrating this Vitality Stack into your body. And when I really break it down to that, and I think about what other things that we spend $5 a day on, you know, we spend more than that on our phone bill. We spend more than that on our cable bill here. And this to increase the health inside of your body, to me, it's an absolute no-brainer. This should be the baseline at looking to integrate this into your health strategy. The compensation plan, I told you, you know, briefly, we have that part-time, full-time, supplemental, life-changing income. There's 6 different ways that we get paid. I'm not going to go through them all. I just want to highlight in the bottom right-hand corner this elite bonus pool because I think it's very different than most network marketing companies. Now, remember, I told you that the ranks went from Pro 1 to Pro 10. When you hit the rank of Pro 7 in the company, you start participating in that bottom right pool, the elite bonus pool. And what they do is they take 4% of the total monthly commissionable sales and they break it into 1% segments where the Pro 7s, 8, 9s, and 10s share 1%, the 8, 9s, and 10s the second, the 9s and 10s the third, and the Pro 10s, which globally right now in a $200 million company that's traded on the NASDAQ, they share 1% of the commissionable revenue. And that blows my mind. It's not expense that are taken out. It's not profit sharing. It's a true revenue sharing program. And just off of that part of the compensation plan, you guys, lately the Pro 10s have been making between $30,000 and $40,000 a month just on that one thing. But the cool thing about it to me was, in most network marketing companies, timing is really important. When did you hear about it and when did you get involved? Now with this, it kind of breaks down that because it doesn't matter if you got involved 7 years ago like me or 10 years ago when it got put in network marketing. Once you reach the rank of that Pro 7, you're going to get paid on all the work that's ever been done because you get commissions based off of everything that goes out globally. And the cool thing to me was as new countries open up, you know, I might not know a ton of people in Thailand or I might not know a bunch of people in Hong Kong. But as those countries open up in those different areas of the world, I start participating and so can you in that product that's going out to those consumers. And I think when we start opening this up on a more global basis, this is going to go from a 200 million to a 500 million to a $1 billion plus company in a short period of time. Because when you look at some of those countries, they've used the ingredients that are in these products for centuries, right? India, 1 billion people that actually know what ashwagandha and bacopa and turmeric are and have been integrating those already, not really understanding why they have such value in their health strategy. So with that, I don't want to take a ton of your time. I know that we said that we'd keep this to about an hour, and I really want to honor your time. We're right at 9 o'clock. But what I really want to highlight again is get back with the person that introduced this to you and let them know where you stand. If this isn't for you, that's okay. Let them know that. If you have questions, let us know what those questions are so that we can help answer those. And if you're ready to get started, let us know. As a customer or a distributor, less than a 5-minute process, we can get you going right now. But I want you to understand this. If you decide to do the business, think about 2 different things. The first is that you don't have to have prior experience or knowledge coming into this, right? You have to have 3 things, I think, to be successful. The first thing is you've got to have a desire to have change in your life in some aspect, right? To do what you need to do on a regular basis to have that change happen. You've also got to be coachable so we can teach you the system and how this works. And you've got to have a good work ethic. And outside of those 3 things, I don't care what your prior experience is, your education level, you can have success in this type of business model. And the other thing that I want you to ask yourself is, what are people looking for as we come into 2018? You know, we're a month and a half in almost. What have people been looking for? There's 2 things: better health and better finances. And we offer solutions for people to that. And we're in the business of educating people on how they can change their life. So with that, I want to thank everybody. I know that there's a ton of other things that you could have been doing with your time tonight. Totally appreciate your expertise and your knowledge, Dr. Jenny Thomas. So thank you again. We appreciate you, and I look forward to doing more meetings with you over the course of time. And anybody, please don't hesitate to contact me and let me know how I can help you along the way, or if you have questions with me. We're just getting started. We're going to have an amazing year in 2018, and what's going to happen over the next 5 to 10 years absolutely blows my mind. So I'm excited. That's why we're working as hard as we do. Have a great night, everybody, and take care.